Eric Tittle with 95.7 The Game. It seemed right from the tip-off you guys were completely focused. Everybody was on the same page. It was like serious business. Like you weren't going to leave anything left from the other game.
Well, that's another one of the reasons why LeBron James was so upset, because he understood that Game 1 is oftentimes a game to steal from a team, especially when they're coming off of a very rough 7-game series in the conference finals. You come onto another team's home floor, and hopefully you can catch them slipping. And Cleveland did catch the Golden State Warriors slipping for the duration of that game. And then, of course, George Hill decides that he's going to miss the free throw. He choked at the free throw line, and then J.R. Smith did J.R. Smith shit.
I mean, we watched the film, and obviously from Game 1, LeBron had an amazing night. But a lot of it was just a lack of kind of sense of urgency early in possessions to try to...
In other words, what Steph is saying is that LeBron is great, but he's not that great. We made him look greater than he actually is. Anytime you see LeBron James score over 50, it's normally because the opposing team did not present enough force, because he does not have enough stamina to score 50 points. You'll notice that in almost all of his contests, especially I would say in the last 10 years, once he gets around that mid-40s area, his body starts to break down. Now, he had a few 50-point games in the late 2000s, and of course he had the 61-point game while he was in Miami against Charlotte, but that's when he was blazing hot from 3. Almost every time that you see LeBron get into that mid-40 point, maybe upper 40 point range, his body is just about to break down, because he's carrying around so much muscle mass that there's not much that his body can do after it reaches that breaking point, that threshold. So I'm sure that Steph Curry and his teammates, when they watched the film of LeBron going for 50, they said, wow, he was really hot. But we gave him a lot of free reign to the basket early on. And you'll notice that in the second half onward, it became much more difficult for LeBron to score. I mean, at one point, he was 13 for 16. He ended the game 19 for 32. So that means that he was 6 for his last 16 in that game.
Try to just be physical. Clay, Draymond, and KD especially were huge, in that transformation to Game 2 with just putting up a little bit of resistance and just trying to make them work.
And beyond that, KD played a much more proficient game. He wasn't out there trying to win the MVP award. He was staying in his pocket. And I say this all the time. KD is at his best when he works in that range there, right in that 18 to 20-foot range. Of course, he can make three-point shots. But for the most part, the only player that I like to see taking three-point shots off the dribble on their team is Steph Curry. Klay Thompson is much better in the catch and shoot, even though he made a great three-point shot off the dribble somewhere in the third quarter, I believe it was, when he ran a one-man fast break and pulled up for 3 on the right-hand side of the court. Very big three-point shot as well. But for me, the only player that I like to see taking three-point shots off the dribble on their team consistently is Steph Curry, because he does it by far the best on their team and in the league.
It can work. And we still have some slip-ups and things we can correct going into Game 3, but the energy and effort and physicality and all that from the jump was pretty dialed in, and it gave us a lot of momentum and confidence to have a better start to the game and then sustain that over 48 minutes for sure.
Anthony, third row was up.
Anthony Slater with the Athletic. Steph, you've always had that kind of pass and scatter to the corner 3 in your repertoire, but suddenly, really since the middle of the Houston series, you're doing it a ton. What sparked that, and why is it working so well?
We've been doing that for a long time. It's just
absolutely, that's nothing new. Curry dribbling at the top of the key, passing the ball, and then trying to make sure that he can scurry over to that baseline to hit that three-point shot. That's nothing new. It's easy to lose him in traffic because he's very elusive, very quick, and then his shot release is so fast that if he can get a crisp pass on the baseline, it's almost always going to be a clear look.
All the time, it's just everything's under a microscope in the playoffs, and especially how teams guard us. With a lot of switching and things like that, you got to find different ways to create space. You can't. ISOs are great, and we have guys that are capable of doing that all across the board. But when we keep the ball moving and keep bodies moving, good things usually happen. So I think that's when we were dialed in offensively, we were really efficient with getting into the paint, kicking it out, finding an open guy, whether it's me, relocating to the corner, or Clay coming off a pin down, or Draymond getting an open three. We've been pretty locked into that type of offense for sure.
Rachel in the fourth row.
Clay, you said yes.
So that's pretty much it for Steph Curry and Klay Thompson's post-game presser. Peace.